Coming to the after party tonight? Yeah! Good, you're doing so good.
Do not entertain none of this nonsense and nothing over the phone. I need you to get rid of all the leftover pizza boxes.
The what?
All the boxes left over from the pizza, like we talked about.
Yeah.
All the boxes.
Okay.
Make sure you recycle the plastic.
So I need to give you a massive flashing red warning here. And if you are triggered or upset, then this is definitely not the show for you tonight. She is going public with her name. The accuser is named Ashley Parham. She says that in February of 2018, she met a man named Shane Pierce at a bar. Shane FaceTimed Diddy outside on the sidewalk. And this is important. She says she believed that Diddy had something to do with the murder of Tupac Shakur. But Ashley Parham says that she told both Shane and Diddy on FaceTime that she wasn't impressed. Allegedly, Diddy warned her that she would pay for saying something like that. And the lawsuit says, quote, where she says this guy Shane invited her to come to his apartment. And defendant Shane offered her a glass of water, which he retrieved and brought back to the plaintiff. P. Diddy showed up with an entourage, including his top aide, Christina Coram. Parham says that Diddy was antagonistic from the start and that he put a knife to her face.
Oh, shit. Get it all out. Get it all out. Get it all out.
Because he would always message me ever since we broke up, like, oh, I'm not well. He would always play with death. I announced my book. He did the same thing. He called my mom. I think I'm not going to be around much longer. And I think he took advantage of my family's kindness. And I was like, if you want to go back to rehab, I'll help you. And if something happens to him, not only are you going to blame yourself, but the whole world's going to blame you. And one of his friends was calling me and my mom being like, oh, you know, this isn't a good time for him. It is, like you said, such a low manipulation tactic.
There's some stuff that I've definitely never spoken about to do with it that was really severe. It was only until I saw myself after that I was like, right, I need to fix myself. So at a certain point I thought, well, I'm gonna have a party for one. And that just seemed to carry on throughout.
Mr. Combs is threatening her with a knife and makes her take off her clothes out of a bag, out of a fanny pack to be specific. And then he takes what she believes is some type of liquid substance and he squirts it at her. And she actually didn't specify even baby oil. She just said he just started squirting it at her. Then she realized that it was some type of lubricant or oil. That's when, after she was covered in this oil, that's when the began with Mr. Combs.
Nicki Minaj, Mary J. Blige, and Lil' Kim now find themselves caught up in the growing scandal surrounding Diddy. As revelations unfold from 7 new lawsuits filed against Sean Diddy Combs, speculation is growing about how their attendance at the now infamous Memorial Day pool party at Club Rehab in Las Vegas could draw them into the legal turmoil. One lawsuit particularly troubling is from an anonymous woman in Arizona who alleges Diddy drugged and assaulted her at Planet Hollywood in 2014. This lawsuit has cast an intense spotlight on the celebrity-studded event held at the Hard Rock Hotel, now Virgin Hotels Las Vegas. Court documents indicate that Minaj, Blige, and Lil' Kim were all present at the party, raising questions about whether their proximity at the event could lead to further scrutiny. At this time, none of these 3 prominent musicians are accused of any misconduct. Their attendance at Diddy's party, which was filled with high-profile figures, could well have been just a glamorous night out. However, considering the serious allegations and the exclusive nature of the party, where the plaintiff claims she was specially invited by a promoter, fans and the public are wondering if these artists might have witnessed or known about any incidents that evening. The plaintiff recalls that Smoo, a promoter working with Diddy, emphasized that the event was exclusive, with access granted to only a select few.
All Jennifer Lopez had to do was marry a white boy, people to stop remembering that she had a gun in her pocketbook. That bullet came from the gun that was in her hand. And not once has she spoken up. She had gunshot residue on her hands the night that Natanya was shot. Betterment of that woman, not once has she donated to her family or for her medical bills that she's still paying. She was afraid that maybe one day they would open the case and she still has the bullet fragments in her face, like J-Lo has said nothing or say something in her defense to stop Puffy from gaslighting her. You really thought that just running off and marrying Ben Affleck was going to take you out of the Diddy downfall. She sat there and cried like a baby. I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to go to jail. Benny Medina put her with that drunk white boy Sean Combs has done to their lives. And you're trying to avoid your part in the story or the fact that you never spoke up. What happens to Cassie if J-Lo had said something? The diddler back then. Because that situation happened in the late 90s. He didn't get with Cassie until 2009, 15 years after he was with Jennifer. Cassie would never have gone through what she's gone through about the that she suffered in a relationship with Sean Combs. J-Lo being a stand is Cassie not getting punted in a hallway.
The exclusivity of the event implies that Minaj Blige and Lil Kim might have had some awareness of the inner workings of these parties. They may even be approached as witnesses regarding the events of that night. Their long-standing professional connections with Diddy, who has produced music for both Blige and Lil Kim, could place them in a delicate situation. While none of the three have publicly commented on their attendance at the party since the lawsuits were filed, rumors suggest that their association with Diddy during that period could come under scrutiny as the case progresses. Fans are eagerly watching to see if these well-known artists might be called to testify, potentially shedding light on the atmosphere of the party or any unusual occurrences they may have noticed. If they become involved in the legal process, it could have a severe impact on their reputations. Even without direct involvement in the alleged crimes, simply being at an event where such a traumatic incident is claimed to have occurred could damage their public image, especially in today's climate of heightened accountability in Hollywood. For now, Minaj Blige and Lil Kim appear to be avoiding the spotlight on
people who say they attended his infamous parties and are not surprised by the allegations against him.
This is Diddy. Like at a Diddy party, he's always gonna be turning up. Y'all not at Diddy's house, y'all not nowhere. I'm just wild on how he's just able to keep all that energy. Sometimes they provide breakfast in the morning and it's like you could chill.
The lawsuit suggests that the Duke of Sussex was one of the guests at Combs' infamous parties. Now Prince Harry has been named in a $30 million lawsuit against the hip-hop mogul, who is facing charges of trafficking and sexual abuse, allegedly attended by sex workers and underage girls.
In my opinion, I think that they're probably looking at RICO or racketeering charges. Each one of those charges carries with it a 25-year sentence. Digital evidence can be very, very tiny. And so when you're looking for flash drives, you are going to have to start looking in walls, taking apart furniture, cameras, those kinds of things, cameras that are recording, those kinds of things.
So agents were concerned that Diddy or his associates were deleting evidence.
That was my tip-off to why this evidence was probably digital in nature, which is exactly why, in my opinion, they searched the homes simultaneously at the exact same time. My guess is that they knew that there was a chance that evidence could be destroyed or was going to be destroyed.
He's a monster. He's literally a monster. This man is gonna go down.
This is incredibly disturbing footage.
He hosted what he called freak-offs, parties so brutal that the young men and women, from being drugged, they would be beaten, they would be raped, would sometimes vomit and pass out. They alleged that Diddy filmed it.
I've kept this very quiet for 14 years. I mean, it's been a very long time, and it was so hard for me to watch. And I cried for days because I just couldn't believe that that man was physically abusing her like that.
Certain that the amount of stuff that we've heard about is probably not the half of it.
He's a monster. He's literally a monster.
Friendly neighborhood, international rap mogul, superstar, designer extraordinaire, actor. You know, I do it all, baby. My homegirl Cassie right here. She's a human being. That's what we all love about her. Sure will love her one day. This bad boy, we ain't never gonna stop.
There's no way that he was doing this alone. He was enabled. He had multiple EAs and PAs, and I have no idea who was his fixer. Like a Shakespearean tragedy, how this man is gonna go down.
And those are extremely difficult cases to defend yourself against. Very difficult.
What's happening now, Cassie opened up the floodgates. So the damage he's done to so many different people, and hopefully these people can move forward from this. Hopefully.
Do you know Sean Combs?
Puff Daddy?
Yeah.
P. Diddy, whatever you call himself these days. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he's part of what's called the Boule. The Boule is a branch of the Illuminati. I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would tell me what to do with Cassie. Sean talks a lot on the phone and on the TV with speakers and stuff, and I was like a slave, okay? I had like 15 encounters, and I heard a lot of business, because what they would do is, I called herpes, and I came back and I sued him for the herpes and won. And Christopher Leon's here was my attorney. They asked me to turn in that. Mark Eros and Ben Mercedes were his attorneys, okay? It's possible, I threw everything out, it's possible I can produce a copy. The hip-hop agenda is an agenda to move drugs all over the United States. You need to involve the DEA, okay? All the dope on private jets, which don't get screened by the DEA inside the United States, okay? They move cocaine and they move liquid cocaine in their bottles too. It's not good. He drinks it all the time.
Here we go, guys.
Here we
All
go.
right. So
P. Diddy definitely everybody and did this everyone. P. Diddy was like, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go Meek Mill in the butt.
What makes you conclude that he definitely was doing that?
presented him with the Steele dossier, which had all of the like dirt.
That's the pee-pee stuff, right?
Yeah, all the pee-pee in it. Alleged Russian piss. Yes.
And he plays so dirty. They play dirty like a movie. What's the number one fear of having these big agencies have so much power? It's like everything else, man. Once you start running shit, you don't want to stop. But it is a weird thing to watch, right?
Yes, it's bizarre.
And he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television. Apparently not. Some things, everything ain't for everybody.
He believes he's innocent. I believe he's innocent. And we're going to fight this case with all of our might until we don't have to fight any longer.
That there will be some people named in these lawsuits that will raise some eyebrows.
He has an out option, and that is popping a cyanide pill.
That are so serious that it would likely leave Sean Combs in jail the rest of his life.
But Chuck, I mean, you might have said the same thing about Jeffrey Epstein.
He's going to be indicted for the murder of Tupac and the Notorious B.I.G.
He's at the top of the pyramid here. Generally, you give deals to the people who are lower in the pyramid in order to get them to testify against the top.
An alleged secret video of an A-list celebrity participating, and the unnamed celebrity knows about this. So 2 anonymous sources have told the New York Post that the video is being shopped around to media outlets. A-list celebrity is, quote, horrified that this footage is being shopped around. It says it's not revealing who the celebrity is because it's not clear if he was a minor when the footage was filmed. Sources say both Combs and the other male's faces are visible in this sex tape.
The person who has the tape really doesn't want to shop it around. They really want to help and give it to wanted to directly sell it to that person. That person does have the opportunity to purchase the video. If I were them, I would absolutely purchase the video.
Sean Combs has been hit with a slew of new civil lawsuits accusing him of 6 victims. One of them, a 16-year-old boy. This seems like every day the scandal gets bigger and worse for him.
But we really are just getting to the beginning of everything. I want to be clear that the press and the media and the public at large is shocked by what's happened. There are a lot of people who have been named that have not been brought to heel. 65% of Americans no longer trust the mainstream media. The Diddy case is a perfect example as to why that is. And yet behind the scenes, everyone knew that this is what he was engaged in. This was an open secret in Hollywood. This man was allowed to be with every presidential candidate. He was allowed to throw parties. He was hailed as a hero. People at the upper echelons of society and politics knew about this, and they were okay with it. Kanye last year said that he was a Fed and started speaking about some of these allegations. He was simply dismissed as crazy. He was acting a part like Jeffrey Epstein, in which he was collecting blackmail over various people that were in Hollywood. And I think also the silence of certain individuals like LeBron James is quite deafening. I know there are some more big names that are going to have to answer for it.
That's all for this video, folks. See you next time.
Now his defense team is asking the federal judge to start revealing who his accusers are.
And now his attorneys say they want to know who the women are that are accusing him, as well as some men.
We have a lot of situations, especially in this arena, where we have accusers seemingly hiding behind a moniker. I have no reason to doubt her story. I have had her tell me this story multiple times.
The only civil settlement that we know of has been made to Diddy's ex, Cassie Ventura, for an unknown amount of money.
If anybody dares to attempt to contact, threaten, intimidate, hurt, that will be immediately reported.
Again, he has been named in 6 lawsuits. 4 of those filed so far are male accusers.
You know, men now, but in one case, a 16-year-old boy who says in 1998, when he was a teenager, found himself in an occasion to be alone with Diddy, he says, and he claims that Diddy basically, he went to a white party. He was invited. He touched him and essentially called it a rite of passage to become a star in the music industry, you know, ranging from 1998 to October of 2021. And one guy says, hey, 2008, I find myself that he was pistol whipped by somebody who was with Diddy, and then that he was assaulted and
Okay, Kristen. Miss Combs, how you feeling?
Miss Combs. Miss Combs.
Throughout. I didn't get any dad socks yet though, but I'm going to speak to my son and which I'm really excited about. And he looks like a mini me. As if we needed any more me in the world.
Fell 3 floors from a hotel balcony. Pictures then taken inside showed the damage he'd done and the empty packets of over-the-counter drugs, saying he'd been drinking and taking drugs alone in his room.
Liam Payne's death in this city has shocked a generation of young followers who simply can't believe he's been taken from them.
I don't know how to describe it, and I don't know how to put a name on it.
It's hard, it's shocked. It's a mix of emotion that we really don't know how to process.
Police in Buenos Aires say they found his hotel room last night in complete disarray.
Bueno, tenemos un huésped que está sobrepasado de droga y alcohol. Tenemos que nos envíen a alguien urgente porque, bueno, yo no sé si corre riesgo la vida del huésped.
First time I've ever put a drink down and gone to someone else, yeah, you finish that, I don't need it. And I haven't picked one up since, which has almost been 6 months, which I'm excited about.
Liam Payne's ex, Maya Henry, is exposing the former 1D member.
He says that he preys on One Direction fans because they will always be loyal to him and they won't tell on him.
And calls out her ex for preying upon 1D fans online. So it all started when she revealed who pushed Liam into the wall.
And he told me it was Zayn. He has all these people on his damn Snapchat, which he has for years apparently, that he messages. He'll create new iCloud accounts to iMessage me. Every time I see one pop up on my phone, I'm like, here we go again. I literally paid for everything myself. It's not like I was going shopping on his Amex. Like, calm down.
She insists she's not in it for the money.
I don't need money.
She claims that he didn't even pay for things while they were together.
About your bandmates and then showing up to their concerts, just like you did at Louis' concert the day my book came out. A lot of women have come forward to give me, actually, a lot of the proof is too freaking to put on TikTok.
A hotel employee in Argentina is suspected of providing drugs to the pop star the day he died.
These new details into what just may have led up to Liam Payne's sudden death. The Payne fell from the 3rd floor of his hotel room. This hotel employee has not been arrested and no charges have been filed against them. A hotel employee is suspected of giving Payne drugs the day he died.
Multiple times had come down to the lobby, was causing a disturbance. There was an incident where he was very frustrated and was smashing his laptop in the lobby. The final time he came back down, he actually passed out in the lobby of the hotel, had to be physically taken back up to his room, and that was about 5 minutes before it happened. So I was in my hotel room looking out the window, saw the body fall, and obviously heard the aftermath and his body on the ground afterwards. It just was an out-of-body experience, surreal. So I had a suspicion just based on the state of mind and the condition he was in earlier. Friends was in the room right across the hall from him and heard very loud screaming, heard an argument with his friend earlier in the day, but during the immediate fall, I didn't hear.
I didn't believe it. I was very shocked. I had to look through multiple sources just to confirm that it's true.
Because he would always message me ever since we broke up, like, oh, I'm not well. He would always play with death. I know the lifestyle he lives, and there is a day where something bad is going to happen. One time I tried to get him help, and then he was not taking it. I announced my book. He did the same thing. He called my mom. I think I'm not going to be around much longer. Text my mom, I'm not doing well. Have Maya contact me because I wouldn't respond. And it's just always the same cycle. And I think he took advantage of my family's kindness. And I was like, if you want to go back to rehab, I'll help you. I don't play with death. So I'm like, if you say this, I'm going to try and help you no matter what you've done. And if something happens to him, not only are you going to blame yourself, but the whole world's going to blame you. And one of his friends was calling me and my mom being like, oh, you know, this isn't a good time for him. It is, like you said, such a low manipulation tactic.
3 months ago, a woman approaches Diddy and says, hey, it's going to make you look like a monster. We're going to be releasing a tell-all book about this woman's experience with Diddy over all the years. You don't want that book to get out there. You can buy the exclusive rights to it for $30 million. Catch and kill this book. It's not just stuff that makes for good print. These are civil claims that we can bring and we can win millions of dollars. Woman comes back with a lawyer. We're going to file a civil lawsuit against you. Diddy's team says, okay, bring the lawsuit. So after those things happened, a line of people came with stories. They bring the lawsuit and within like hours, it's settled for, surprise, surprise, $30 million. If she got 30 mil, what can I get off this guy? I was there. I saw this. I heard that. And that then led to a federal investigation.